this is a huge operation. It's a very, very competitive, regulated market. By understanding why they want to get into the business,
Who does this approach benefit?
we really do try and incorporate their vision and their opinion into the approach. We have to put a limit to what we can do. We need to get that feedback and integrate them quickly. So agility is definitely key. I think one of the biggest complaints I have for the iGaming industry is we haven't really evolved too much. For sure, there's room to grow.
Hello and welcome to the G3 podcast. Joining me today is Yoni Sidi, the CEO of Wiztech Group, who's just informed me prior to us starting the podcast that he's been in the gaming industry for 21 years. So thank you very much for taking the time.
Thank you for having me, William. It's great to be here.
So why do you think that so many businesses are falling into this white label trap where the only difference between platforms seems to be kind of colors and branding? And seeing as we've touched on your experience in the industry, how has this changed over the last couple of decades?
So now you're making me feel old, but yes, 21 years in the industry. I've seen a lot. I've also been on both sides of the coin. I've been an operator for major brands. I've been an operator and an owner for white label solutions. And now I'm also a provider of a platform that offers white label solutions. And one of the reasons I suppose I started up Wiztech is because having seen a lot of the platforms or the solutions that are out there, I believe that a lot of them were flawed, and some of the reasons that you pointed out, it's very different to differentiate yourself from one brand to the other. But what I've found, what I know to be true anyway, the white label solution is quick. It's easy. There's an argument to say it's kind of the lazy way to do something, but when you have limited investment and you don't want to be spending it on OpEx and you just want to get a brand live and you want to worry only about the marketing and not about running your customer support or your VIP or your CRM, all these types of things, then it does tick a lot of boxes. But then I think once you do go live, you kind of realize that you're stuck in a system that's rather rigid. You can't really make too many changes. You're dependent on someone else to do things for you. So where it may feel convenient at the beginning, and listen, there's hundreds, if not thousands of them out there, there is the downside of everyone looks the same. You have the same flows. It's very different, very difficult to make your brand stand out from the thousands out there that are all offering the same bonuses, the same spins. So you can change the colors and you can change the domain name and the name of the casino, but under the hood, you're pretty much running the same engine as everyone else. I think that's why I believe that people would find that appealing, but mainly for speed and cost. And I think once they're in it, and we're seeing it with a lot of customers that are coming to us now inquiring about our platform, they're in it, they're happy, they generate GGR, but they all have an underlying feeling they could be doing much more if they had a system that was kind of a bit more tailored to their traffic sources, a tone of voice that they're trying to incorporate into their brand, and these types of things.
So how does Wiztech tailor its approach so that it's almost not got that feeling of being a template-based client? How is each partner treated as a unique business? I assume that's kind of your USP within the space.
Yes. Now, I suppose as a caveat, we're not as big as the others, so we still have the ability to give more of a personal touch. But for me, it comes back to one of our biggest brands is in Mexico. It's one of the top 5 brands today in Mexico. And this is a huge operation. Mexico is a very, very competitive, regulated market with some really, really big players. And to be able to grow that fast in 2.5 years, a lot of it is down to the platform. And as it was really our first venture, we started with the why. I'm sure you know, but Simon Sinek is someone I follow a lot and read his book, to start with the why. So we try and look what our operators are trying to achieve. Some are only looking to target VIP customers. Others are looking for mass markets in a certain region. Others need a different level of gamification, not like everyone else. So we first of all, we start off by understanding why they want to get into the business. Then once we have the why, we can then figure out the how and what we're going to do. And then once we sit down, and the onboarding process that we have with our customers is vigorous and in depth, but once we kind of get as much information off the potential partner that we are speaking to, we then take that away, and we have different kind of channels that we can take him down. If he wants a gamification brand, if he wants a VIP brand, if he wants a mass market brand, if he wants just a mailer brand, all these types of things.
You mentioned in your response there about being a different kind of size platform in terms of scale to make perhaps your competitors. So, what does that mean for how your approach to upgrades differs from those others? And also, how who does this approach benefit? Does it benefit kind of the kind of startup operators or mid-tier brands or even large enterprises? Do you have a full swathe of clients?
We do now. We're growing a lot. Like I think I said earlier, we're fortunate that we don't have hundreds and sometimes thousands of clients, so we can still give a personal touch. When our clients are with us, our customer success managers are with them on a daily basis. We're happy. We invite them to our offices because, when you only have a few dozen of these partners, it's much easier to manage them and provide a good service. But in our suite of clients that we have out there, so we have the startups, and it benefits them because we can get to market quickly, but we can still tailor the approach. We don't just say, listen, this is what we have on the shelf, take it or leave it. After we've spoken to them, we can say, right, these are the options we can go down. And we really do try and incorporate their vision and their opinion into the approach. Now, granted, if they turn around and say, I want to have flying unicorns coming out the screen and rainbows and stardust, we have to put a limit to what we can do and be honest with ourselves that, some things we just won't be able to develop in time. If it's a showstopper for you, then we will try and put it in the roadmap. But even the large enterprises, if we take someone like Winpot, which is the brand that we're operating in Mexico, this came with and still comes with, daily, weekly, monthly challenges of changing stuff for the regulator, of the reporting that you do, new game integrations, games that are hot in Mexico, and we're based in Cyprus, so we need to get that feedback and integrate them quickly. So agility is definitely key. At the moment, I believe our current suite of partners benefit from how agile our platform is. Um, but I think the common denominator is that, we don't just want to launch a fast, quick, copy paste your way to market type of brand. We really want or believe that the customer or the partner needs to have a way to stand out. And if that can be post launch, they say, okay, we made a mistake. We actually need to integrate I don't know, another CRM platform, another email, SMS platform, then we can do it relatively quickly.
An interesting dynamic I found when talking to platform providers is about how you prioritize those enhancements and those upgrades. Is it you've got to listen to the client. The client knows best, or do they? Because you know the market. You've got all these platforms in different spaces. So how do you prioritize that roadmap?
So there's two things. Yes, the customer kind of always does know best, and a lot of the time you're kind of the Winston Churchill bulldog in the on the dashboard nodding your head. Um, and you have to kind of incorporate what they're saying, but you also have to back it up with data. If we are seeing that something is working in another market, and obviously it's not a conflict of interest. We will turn around to our partner and say, listen, these guys are doing this type of campaign in a certain geo and it's worked really well. We can actually do it for you guys. And most of the time they will say yes. But if they do come to us with suggestions, and some may be crazy, some may be sensible, we do try and understand based on data. And I would try, and if they say, I know that this will work, we can't just take their word for it, because if we're going to prioritize a development for a certain partner, even if it isn't going to affect everyone else, or not everyone else is going to take it, we still need to understand, putting those resources, will it generate more GGR for the partner and in turn for us? So data for me is the most important thing, I would say.
And what types of features improvements are most commonly fast tracked due to that competitive pressure? And I very much doubt that it's flying unicorns.
Not yet, but I'm sure now after this podcast, someone's go, "Oh, that's a good idea, Yoni." Um, Regulatory changes, I think, have to be the top priority when working in regulated markets, and in markets such as Mexico, for example. They don't often give you a lot of warning. It could be that you need to make a change tomorrow. If not, you will be in breach. So regulation, for sure. The other changes that we find that are most common are in and around CRM. So people trying to extract more value from their customers. Maybe they've chosen wrong or struggling with current partners that they wanted us to work with in the beginning, and they want to try something else. And it doesn't have to be your run-of-the-mill CRM platforms that you have out there. It could be third-party, free-to-play games, incentive games. those types of things. Not so much in terms of look and feel of the website. We kind of find that once people are set on their templates, they're relatively happy and content. There may be some changes need to be made in terms of the game management and what they're showing, but we do all that automatically anyway through AI and recommended games. So for us, it's the main changes I would say are to do with extracting more value, and it kind of makes sense. You know, people will start marketing, they realize that their CPA is, I don't know, $400, but their player value is expected player value is only going to be $600, and they realize, okay, we need to get more value, or they need to try and change their marketing. But it's much easier for marketeers to say, no, it's the product's fault. You guys need to change. So that would probably be the main point.
Prior to our chat, I had a look into kind of Wiztech's general kind of B2B sales message, and what came back was that it's speed to market. So, what internal processes and technologies enable you to get clients live within a matter of weeks? And pursuant to that, and of the on the architecture side of things, how is it so flexible that you're able to do that? Because not many platform providers can.
We're a really good CTO, and having worked with several really talented CTOs in my 21 years experience, as you alluded to, William, um, I think it's a breath of fresh air when you do have a tech team that the answer is always yes, just give us some time to go and find a solution. So I think open-mindedness is definitely something that helps. Then we have the experience side. So having been onboarded several times in the past and understanding the frustrations of when you actually go live, it's kind of, well, this isn't what we discussed. So it was really important for me to have a thorough onboarding session, and our onboarding session with our customer success team, it's quite reminiscent of a psychiatrist and a patient lying on a chair. We ask a lot of questions. We try and do it in a personal manner, but this would just, it may be painful trying to get that document sorted and airtight, but once we kind of have that document, have an idea and have the vision, we tell the customer, are you sure? Are you happy? You can make any changes now, speak now, forever hold your peace. Once we have that, it then goes on to our production line. Now, the production line that we have, a lot of what we have is already automated. So a lot of the integrations, do not take weeks. A lot of them are plug and play. We use a lot of AI for our code generating as well. So that makes things very simpler. And we also use AI a lot for the design stuff that we use. So once we have that document, which is a few pages thick, from the customer, and it goes to the project management team and then onto the production line, 4 to 6 weeks from that date of signing. And again, if nothing changes, then we can get customers live. And we've actually been able to now, as we're growing, we've only been in the B2B space for about a year and a half, but we already have over 14 brands that are live with us and countless more about to go live. The growth has come that we've also been able to replicate that procedure with the same teams. So the processes that we have in place are very easy to follow. And it really is, like a production line you would imagine in a factory. First we start with the idea of the website, then it goes through to the project manager. She then hands out all the different tasks, different people. They will then converse back again into the middle. Then it goes out to the different teams again. Then it goes to QA. So at the moment, it is going smooth. But again, we do have the benefit of not having hundreds of partners, and we don't intend to be that large. We try and pick our partners as what we believe will be successful in generating GGR and give us the least amount of headache. And I always say to our partners, after we sign with you, I don't ever want to speak to you again. If you're speaking to me, it means you have problems. No problem. Invite me for a round of golf. We can meet for drinks. But if you're speaking to me because we have problems, that means it's a problem on my side. So we like to look for operators that can self-manage themselves. And the beauty of our platform is it is a really simple platform to use. Once you're into the back office, and once you've undergone the training, which is 2 days training, 1 day for questions, you can run it yourself, and you do not need us for anything. You can run your own CRM, your own game management, your own content on the website, all these types of things.
And how do you balance that kind of rapid speed of deployment with platform stability and also, of course, quality assurance as well?
Discipline, I think it's an important word, not taking on more than we can chew, which has happened to us in the past. And I think having clear roles and responsibilities for each department head. We have the the heads oversee the whole business. They understand what needs to be done. They have timelines. It's not like we're running a sweatshop and we have a whip in our hand and say, listen, these are the timelines. But the beauty of the platform and the beauty of the processes that we have make everything simple. And we haven't reinvented the wheel. I actually think one of the biggest complaints I have for the iGaming industry as a whole is we haven't really evolved too much. If you look at other industries like e-commerce or fintech, these type of industries, over the last 15 years, they've really evolved. Now you can get Amazon, to your day, next day delivery. You can transfer money instantly with no fees. Ours hasn't really, and it's still quite a simple thing. At the end of the day, we're making a website. We're just connecting partners, APIs. You just need everything to run in time. Make sure that we're not over-promising. If someone's going to want something above and beyond what we can deliver in that 4 to 6 week period, then we will tell them, listen, it was going to take us 8 weeks, and this is the reason why. And we show them a clear Gantt. They have transparency the whole way as to where we're going. We have weekly calls with the partners, even whilst we're on the onboarding phase, just to tell them what we're doing in case they want to make some changes in that time. And we just try not to overcomplicate it. We have transparency, we have discipline within the team, and we have very good communication with our partners, because it's the worst thing to go through all of that process. You give it to them live and they're like, no, we did. And even if, we can show them this is the document you wanted, they say, no, 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 we changed our mind. So having those ongoing conversations with them definitely helps. It's time consuming. It does help build a relationship with the client success manager. But it also lets them know where we're at, because I know many brands that say, okay, give us 3 months and we'll give you a brand. And that's it. You can't speak to them because they're already dealing with God knows how many other clients. So those would be the main reasons, I would say.
You're quite right about that speed of innovation, because, in the early days of Facebook in the early 2000s, Farmville was a big thing, and there was.
I used to work on Farmville, yes.
Oh, did you? Oh,
Yeah, yeah.
that is interesting. Well, as you'll be well aware, then there was reward meters and all these gamification elements, leaderboards, kind of all the kinds of things that are being spoken about now in iGaming were happening 20 years ago.
Yes.
So you're quite right. So nicely tying me into the final question that I've got for you, which is about how Wiztech is preparing for future shifts in technology, such as AI integration and Web3.
The funny thing is about the future. So I'm not technically gifted. I'm about as technically gifted as a baguette. But like I said, we
As
have
am I.
a very, very good tech team. And years ago, when we started the company, my tech team was telling me about ChatGPT, you need to buy shares in Nvidia. This is the future. And I was like, but yeah, kind of over my head, no problem. Can you help me turn on my computer? And so they've been using AI for a long period of time. It's even in coding. I'm talking about, well over 2 years. Sounds like it's nothing, but well over 2 years we've been um, using AI. Just before we launched our brand in Mexico, we were also involved in the Web3 environment. We had a project of NFTs, which obviously is totally fallen off the cliff now. So we were aware of Web3. We're still looking into it. Obviously, wallet integrations and tokenized loyalty systems and things like this. We know that it's important for the future. I don't think it's yet arrived, but I do firmly believe that we're seeing now a shift in the generation of the gamblers today. They're used to crypto. They want to be able to play in crypto. They're not. We don't need to be scared to say that we're using AI to build our website or to create designs or to create content. It's we should embrace the technology that we have and not walk away from it. So Web3, we haven't quite got our hands round, but we're well aware of it. We do offer crypto solutions. We understand the importance of it. AI we've been using for a long time, for as long as as long as I can remember, that's for sure. But I think our strategy is kind of to be early ready, but not blindly ready, if that makes sense. We are aware of what's going on. I send my tech team to numerous webinars and discussions, and I'm all for them learning, because normally all the companies I've worked with, it's always been kind of marketing that have been driving the company. So, okay, we need to work really, really fast. I think Wiztech has been able to say, okay, let tech lead this part of the business, and we'll tell you what solutions are out there. And then obviously they've come to me and say, this is the cost, training, integrations, whatever, but this is what it's going to give us. And then obviously make a business decision. And on the B2C side and getting new customers, no problem. Let marketing lead because obviously we all need revenues. But if they don't go hand in hand, meaning the marketeers, I wouldn't call them the dinosaurs, but kind of they're not up to speed. They don't use AI or they
Well,
use it
like
maybe for
that.
their email, not like that, not to write code or to run CRM campaigns or even to evaluate data that we have. We're using AI, and it's not just ChatGPT. I mean, I saw the invoice at the end of the month. We must have 6 or 7 different AI companies that we're using for different elements of the business. So we're not just jumping head in and saying, okay, we need to use AI because everyone else is using it. I think we have a full understanding of its capabilities and of the importance to grow the industry. And I'm all for innovation. Like I said, I've been doing this for 21 years. Gamification has only just come about in the past 18, 24 months, and Farmville had it 9 years ago, 10 years ago. So I definitely would like us to innovate more in this industry, but it's not always easy because, the money's coming in and everyone seems happy and let's just spend it more on marketing. But for sure, there's room to grow.
Oh, good stuff. Thank you very much for joining the podcast over a round of golf. I mean, I wouldn't have made that choice myself, but there you go.
Like I said, you haven't seen my swing.
Cheers. Thank you.
Thank you very much, William.